Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks, and today we're going to cover Alibaba, NanoString Crispr, ExOne, Proto Labs, Materialise. Was there another one? No, that must be it. But also what I want to point out as well is that when I'm doing these US stocks, some of them are going to be trades and some of them are going to be portfolio holds, okay? The bigger picture here is that we are looking at the NASDAQ here going up for wave one here. Once that's completed, probably around the election times, then we're going to see a correction in the markets, and then we're going to see a really nice strong wave here, even if the Democrats do get in there, as a lot of the tax breaks and so on have been already set in place for the market. So this particular third wave that we're looking at here, this is the one that we should do very well out of. Wave 3 here should be longer than wave 1 here. So in a way, we've got time with all of this. So I'm just putting a little portfolio together at the moment, as you know, and you don't need a lot of money, even if you buy 1 or 2 or 3 or 5, whatever shares that you want. But do realize that we will have to manage the situation through here. How we do that is I'm not quite sure yet, if we will take a hedge or we will just clean our positions out, and then we'll look to get back in here. So we've got all this time here to prepare to get ourselves together, right? And it's this run here that we'll be looking for here. So yeah, I just thought that I'd point this out. So we're tracking the S&P 500 and the NASI up for all of this, and yeah, at the moment the market's still bullish and we're still looking for it to push a little higher. But these stocks that we're looking at, of course, they will also pull back with the NASDAQ as well. So be mindful of that. But as long as you're holding stock and not holding derivatives like options, CFDs, warrants, and the list goes on. So yeah. With that in mind, let's go in and take a closer look. So I've got Alibaba here on the weekly chart here, and we can see that this particular trend to the upside is just not finished yet. You know, we've got wave 1 and 2 here. We could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. Whichever way we look at it, this market's having a correction in here. And the thing to note here is that this move up here was on strong volume, and the I don't know if you can see that there properly, but and then we've got these 2 weeks here that are on lower volume. So that means that the market's in a correction, but there's no sellers coming into the market because we're not seeing increased volume in this case, right? So we are in a correction here. In fact, we are actually at a medium level here in terms of the trading levels here at 250. So this is a major level up here. So the Fibonacci numbers as a price ratio, so 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and then we go, instead of going to 13, we go to 10, and then we go to 20. So the power of 10 there. But between two major levels is a medium level here at 250 roughly, and we put that in grey there. Right, so it's good to know these things because it's very high probability that the market will have a correction at these trading levels, as I call them. And they give us the opportunity to take profit. They give us the opportunity to allow the market to unfold in its corrective pattern. And as it matures, it gives us a better chance of moving back in. You don't want to move into a correction in the first quarter, first half. You know, you really want to wait for it to mature at that point. But anyway, we're going to cut straight through. I want to just work through the charts today, mainly in the 4-hour chart here. We've got 6 stocks to get through, so I don't particularly want to spend a lot of time on all of this. So we've got Alibaba here, and we're at the 4-hour chart, and we're going to get a position here. Now, I will be buying positions I try to go as low as I can, so I'm just going to spend $1,500 on each stock and whatever I can get for that. And I've based that on two reasons. One, that I want to include Tesla in the mix, and that's trading around that particular price, so I can buy one share. So that's kind of affordable for anybody that kind of wants to follow. And secondly, I'm in Australia, and I'll have my account in Australia, and I will pay a brokerage. So I'll pay a small fee for the brokerage, and at $1,500, it's kind of okay-ish. You know, it doesn't impact that $1,500 too much. But obviously in the US, you can go for all those free commission companies, but it's nothing's free in the world. They're just black pools of money. They'll be front running. They'll be buying before you do all sorts of things they'll be doing. So in the old days, they used to call them bucket shops. And we've seen those sorts of things in the CFD market as well. You know, they're basically market makers. So your order in a lot of cases won't go to the real market with CFDs, that is, as such. So there's two different types of CFDs, of course, market makers and DMA, direct market access. Anyway, I won't go into all of that, but the other point too I want to make as well is that as our portfolio grows, probably more so once the market pulls back in that big second wave that I talked about with the NASDAQ, and as we start building it at that point, we will weight particular stocks. Like Tesla will end up having, say, 10%, and other stocks might have 1% or 0.5%, and they'll be managed in a basic portfolio way. So, but anyway, this particular, we're seeing a correction at this medium level here, 250, as I mentioned. We could have wave 4 here, or we could have wave 4 over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but this also looks impulsive up here as well. So we could go long from this point here as well, but we want to buy just one lot here at the 250, and if it pulls back down here. So these are portfolio holds, they're not trading holds. Taking this top out here would be a trade, so that's a different that goes in a different portfolio. So we've got trades and we've got portfolio holds. So I'll keep all the portfolio things down in the bottom right here, and trades I will just use for the green here, like we've done over here. We had a few trades in here, we got out here, so they're trades. Okay, so a trade, we may be able to get a better position than this as well, so especially if you get a second high coming into this space here as such, you could probably get a better position wherever that may come in from that point. But the thing is you want the market to prove to you that it's actually strong, and taking out, like this would have been originally this, well, I can't remember, but I know how I think it would have been here and waiting for the second one here. And then we can bring it down to this one here as well. So wave force can get a little bit sort of tricky. So we'll see how that floats in that space. But anyway, you know that. So we can move on now. So we're going to have a look at NanoString now. So in this case here, we've talked about this before. So we've got a portfolio hold at 35 here. And if you want to trade this, then you can trade it above the 37.20 here, this green line here. But you could only trade it to the 40 at this point, because there will be time spent there at that point. If you haven't got a position in this yet, then that's fine. It does appear that this is 5 waves down here and 3 waves back up here, but mind you, it's only 3 waves as long as that there holds. So it could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, right? So if that gets breached here, then you'll get the opportunity to buy at a lower price here for this market. CRISPR, which I really like this stock, and it will eventually have a large weighting, be in the top 3 or 4 stocks. So currently we have a position at 90. We're not going to do a trade on this because we're facing 100 here, and 100 is number one is for me is the strongest number in the market, and we can expect the market to gravitate and vibrate across that particular level there. So we don't have a setup for that. Unfortunately, we came into these stocks a little bit late rather than in the beginning of March, but this is where we're starting and this is where we're at, and we'll just take that on the chin. But there's nothing to see here at the moment for this in terms of trade. But for portfolio holds, this particular stock will have a large weighting, probably up around the 8% mark, but I need to work on that. The next one is ExOne, which the ExOne code. It's called the ExOne code. This is into manufacturing technology, providing industrial 3D printing systems. So 3D printing is a new technology. Well, it's kind of new, but it's getting to the point where they can mass produce products at scale, and I think the first one out of the box is Adidas with their soles of their shoes being printed in mass scale. So it's just entering the realm now, and of course a lot of printed products are in a lot of new technologies in space, in aircrafts are being built now with a lot of printing being manufactured in there. In this case here for this, we have getting a portfolio hold here at 878. It probably pull back further than this as well. This is an impulse wave to the upside here, so you could probably look to, if you wanted to hold that a bit more, you could probably pick it up around the 855 mark in that space. So you may want to hold on for that. In terms of trading here, what we've got here is a three-wave structure here. So it's corrective, and then we've got this is an impulse wave here in 5 waves. So we should see this pull back down into this space and then push up into that space. So that's the trade. This is the portfolio hold, but I've just put this out here today, but you could get it lower than that. So there's no rush in getting that. Right, the next stock is Proto Labs, which is also in the printing game as well. And this would be one of the leaders, so this would also be a top hold as well for this. So we've got hold at 115 and 125 here that we talked about. I'll just check in on the daily because I don't have a count here. Right, we've already talked about this before. So yeah, one of the things I can say about this is that if we get support sitting on, let's move these out of the way here. I'm going to try and keep these on the 4-hour chart anyway. So we're at, in terms of the trading levels, we've got 100 here, and then we've got group 1, minor group 1. So we've got major levels, then medium levels, then minor levels. And the minor levels here are 1, 2, 3 here. And these 3 make up group 1 here. And what I can say about this, if we get support on top of group 1, the 30 there, what it does, it stops the market being pulled down by the closest largest number. While it's in this space here, it can be pulled back down to 80 at this space, in this space. So if we get support on this level here, then we know that we're going to be leaving this number. So support would be the arrival, the reaction, which we're going through now, the first high above the level, and then some type of correction here. I'm over dramatizing it, and then up here, and the trade would come in over this side over here. If you're wanting to get in, there's no point. You can get in now if you want to, but you'll be holding it through this. And in this game of trading, time is money. So Also, too, the move up here can be counted as an A and a B and a C wave here. So it's possible for this to come back down to this point here and then move off there. If it does this for the portfolio buys, we will be buying it at the 100 here again. We want to build in, we want to average into this particular stock here because it's one of the leaders in the print game. Now, the next stock is Materialise. Let me just get organized here with that. So Materialise is actually headquartered in Belgium, and it's also in the manufacturing space as well. So let me just put this up here. Buy on tested support, so we're looking to buy at 25 here. This market has moved up. We're on the daily chart here, so I want to move into, well, let's just have a quick look at this here. So we should see this continue to the upside, but at this present too, we've got this could be an A and a B and a C wave up to this point and fail from here as well. The other important point here, if I can just bring in this here, which is the next major level here at 30. So 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 and 30 in this particular instance here. And of course 20, so 10, 20 and 30 make up the major levels here. So it's going to have, let's just say if, because we don't know, if the market's going to move up, we're going to see something like this here for this, and then pushing up from over there. So it gives us chances to get into the market. So if we see 5 waves up here, then we could also get in back in this level down here as well for this. So opportunity to build in on this here. But I want to go to the 4-hour chart, and we've talked about this before. So we obviously talked about going long above this high here, and also this second high in here as well. So you may have trade positions in this space. If that's the case, then this is your target here. So if this will just be this is number 8 here. So so from 20 is a major level. So then the minor levels are 21, 22, 23, and then 25 we just call a medium level, it's at the halfway mark, and then we've got 8. So 1, 2, 3, 5 and 8 here, and we always call 8 a profit number taking number because this is what happens. This is what happens at number 8. Because it's hitting it for the second time or the third time, the impact won't be as great, but we'll still see a corrective pattern here, and then we'll see it move up here, and that would be your target as a trade here. So what we can say here, if you're in this, then you would take profit at the major level, and then you just simply wait for a correction. Now you could say, well, Peter, if it's going to move high, why don't I just stay in? Well, then I would just say to you, well, get a portfolio hold at that point in time, because time is money and there will be some type of correction here. And I know that over time, and I've been using the levels for quite a few years, that I know it's when you add it all up at the end of the day, you're better off taking the money at the number and then waiting for the correction, because the correction could be weeks, could be months, and then you could be in another stock that's setting up. It's about rotating. That's portfolio management stuff. So I'll just leave it at that point there. But we talked about getting position at 25. I've just got it at 26 based on this, so I'll leave it at that. And that's that. So we've covered, just to recap there, we've covered 6 stocks in this video, and I've kept it within 20 minutes. I want to kind of jam, at least 5 or 6 stocks in each video. And then what I will do over a month period, that will be, if I do that each day, 5 stocks in each video each day, that means that over over the month, I can cover 100 stocks. So what will happen eventually is that the stocks that we're looking at on a Monday, you'll only see them once a month, basically, eventually. Unfortunately, but that's the only way I can cover them. So these stocks they'll end up being all portfolio stocks, and they'll be managed on TradingLounge.com. I'm just organising a portfolio module to go on that website. So eventually, a lot of the management of this you'll have to become a member of TradingLounge to see that. But these stocks here will be shown once a month, and that way I can cover 100 stocks or so, 120 stocks or something. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.